Hi writers, it's Miss Sarah here, and my dog Coco too. And today we want to teach you two things that good writers can do to their small moment stories to make them sound a little bit more interesting. The first thing that writers can do to their work is make their they can add interesting words to their action words to their story, and these are called verbs. Let me show you what I mean. So if we see right here, whoops, sorry. All right, I'm gonna try again. Take two. Here we go. So if we look at this sheet right here, we see this is a poster full of lots of different types of verbs. An example is swim, or sip, or read, or draw, or walk, or joke, or wave. Those are all action words because they're things that we can do. I can take my cup of coffee that Miss Sarah has every single morning. I can sip it. I can read a book, or I can tell my friend a joke. The second thing I want to teach you that good readers do is they can make their characters in their small moment stories talk. So I'm going to bring up my second poster right here. And we can do this with something called dialogue. Can you say dialogue? Great. Dialogue is what a character says. So in your small moment stories, you're writing your stories all about yourself, something that's happened in your own life. And people talk when they go around. If you didn't have anyone talk ever, it'd be kind of boring, right? Think if we went to school and we just sat silently all day. That would be no fun at all. So we want to do the same thing in our writing. I can use words like said, or whispered, or questioned, or asked. And then I put these two little marks. They look like commas floating in the sky. These are quotations after I have my action word. So for example, I could say, the teacher said, let's get ready for recess. Said is what the character, is how the character said it. So if it's whispered, it's telling me that the character is speaking quietly. If it's asked, then I know that the character in my small moment story is asking a question. After I put this word right here, said, I put a comma, two quotation marks, and then after my end marks, I put two more quotation marks in the sky. The quotation marks tell my reader that the character in my story is speaking. So now I have something very exciting. I'm going to read the beginning of a book that you may have already read this year called Roller Coaster. This is an example of a small moment story because it takes place in the same setting. It's not changing locations throughout the book. They're all happening while this one girl is reading in line to ride the roller coaster with her parent. I'm just going to read the first half today, and as I read, we are going to look for examples of dialogue and examples of verbs, or those action words. So let's get started. All of these people are waiting in line for the roller coaster. Finally, it is time to get into the cars. The ride operator says, load them up, two to a seat. Wow, riders, look at this right here. I saw the sentence, the ride operator says, load them up, two to a seat. And I see those floating quotation marks right here. That's some example of dialogue And that's something that you can use in your own stories when you write your small moment today. When everyone is buckled up, the ride operator rings a bell and he releases the brake. The train jerks forward on the tracks. Now it is too late for anyone to change their mind. These people are stuck riding the roller coaster now until it is all done. Slowly, the train is pulled up the hill by a chain. Clickety, clackety, clickety, clackety, up, up, up. And then, whoosh! Most people scream. Some people can't make a sound, and one person can't even open her eyes. She has them covered. She's so scared. The train zips. Sorry. Yes, it is the train. The train and the roller coaster. Zipping. It zooms. It dips and dives. Riders, that's where we're going to stop for today. When I say go, I want you to think of at least 3 examples of action words that Miss Sarah read in her story to you today. Ready? Go. When you've got your 3 action words, you can flash a silent light bulb. And remember, action words are things that we can do. All right, writers. Now let's think back to that book. Let's think back of some of the action words or verbs that we read about in our story. Well, the first one Miss Sarah thought of was when the ride operator filled up the roller coaster with people. The ride operator had to, it says, the ride operator rings a bell. So we know that rings is our first action word because that's something that the ride operator did. Let's think of a second action word. Well, if I look back in the book, I see that something else, another action word that I see, oh yeah, this is what Miss Sarah would do if she were on the roller coaster right now, is that people, when they're on the roller coaster, most people scream. Ah! Scream is a verb because it's something that we can do. Let's think about one more action word we read in our story. Oh, this is a good one. This is something that the train did when it was on the roller coaster tracks. It zooms. Whoosh. Sorry, Miss Sarah is not the best artist, but I'm gonna really try my best to draw this. It zooms, and zooms is another verb because it's something that the train, the roller coaster, is doing. And it's a pretty exciting one too. All right, friends. Now it's your turn. When you start writing your small moment story today, I want you to give at least one example of dialogue, make one of the characters in your story come to life by making them talk, and try to think of at least 3 interesting verbs, those action words to bring your characters to life. I cannot wait to read your small moment stories later this week. Good luck and happy writing.